ready. The beep had just gone off, and the machine I have just switched off. And here is the bread after it has done baking. It took 3 hour 10 minutes to complete the basic bread baking in this machine. I'm sure different machines have different time cycle, but mine gets done the basic one. Whole wheat would take longer, as it requires a longer cycle to rise. So once this is out from the machine, you have to be very careful. This is going to be super hot, so wear some gloves or use some towel to protect your hands from burning, or fingers, or you can burn anywhere, even your arm can burn. I have done that in the past, so just be a little careful. And you can see the quality of the bread, the browning the set for the browning I have chosen for the maximum. So machine has those settings. I did not go over because I was not covering the machine, but the process of baking the bread in the way that it turns out in the best way in your baking machine. So it was the video was about the recipe, not the bread maker. So this is where we are. I don't have butter today, so I'm not gonna um, apply any oil. Instead, I'll keep it as it is. Buttering your bread top is an option, and I usually do, but not today. So I have to now take it out of the box. So I'm gonna put this here and see how we can do that safely. So the toughest part in this process after the baking is done is to get the bread out. That is the only little bit uh, kind of struggly part is because the bread gets embedded into the kneader that I showed you in the previous live video. So you have to twist or wiggle the kneader. This part you can see. This part is the one you twist to remove the, to twist and disengage the bread from this part. Alternatively, you can leave the bread in this box for like a few minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and it will easily come out. But you don't want to leave the bread in this box because then it start to get moist. So I'll see if I can get it out. Yes, it is slipping out easily now. Here we go. So you can see the needle remained inside as we applied the oil in the beginning. The trick I showed you, if you put the oil first, then you are going to not have to struggle to get the bread out of the book. So this is how the bread turns out in the end. You can see how fabulous the bread looks. It smells awesome. It has all the goodness of the additional ingredient I have put. It has cherries, dry pineapple. It has oats. It has seeds like sesame seed, flax seed, and sunflower seed. It is one delicious, yummy bread made with milk and all-purpose flour and whole wheat flour. What else do you want in your morning breakfast or in the later in other meals, some sandwiches? So I'm gonna rest it. Usually it takes 3-4 hours for the bread to cool down. Only then I slice it and put it in the cellophane bag. That is the best way to keep your bread. As you know, you pack your mm, like sweets and cookies, etc., in the cellophane bag or that packing, that gift wraps, etc. You do in those wrappers. They make crunchy sounds. That is the pack that I love because it can adjust the moisture, so the bread can remain still nice and moist. At the same time, you won't get the fungus or bacteria to make it bad. And that is why that kind of packing is good. I have a large size packing that I got with some dresses, and I washed it and dried it and kept it for this one. The other ways to get that packing is like if you buy those tostadas, they round ones, they come in those big packet, and once you are done using it, you can save those packages and wash them and clean them and preserve them. And that is one way to um, save your food. Many of the food item I use that for, and this is one. So the bread looks fantastic. Let me know how do you think this whole bread process had been. Um, did you like my recipe? Do you have any question about the ingredient? I can go over again in the comment section. And any feedback comment you have, do let me know. How do you make your bread? Mine is here and I cannot wait to devour it. And other thing I wanted to talk about was, which I probably missed out, the kind of yeast I use. Uh, right now I'm using the Red Star yeast. I bought it many months ago. This packet, and you if you buy the large size one, it will go forever. Like you, if you're only baking once a week one bread in the bread maker, the size of the one I just showed you, then it will last for years and years. So what I do is the uh, yeast comes in this packet which are like light proof, and they are vacuum sealed. As you can see, this my second packet, because of the COVID time, there was panic about the yeast, and we have heard all those stories, gone through those stories when yeast was out of stock or was sold at a very substantially high price. And there was a little bit of panic because bread is a common food in America for us. Almost everybody eats it, so not having yeast could uh, be a real concern for the bakers. And this is the bottle. I usually save this yeast after opening the packet, because packet comes vacuum sealed like this. It is heavy, it is packed, and there's no air in it. So the granules, they are sticking close together, packed tightly in this small kind of box like packages. So once you cut the top, the granules, yeast granule, will fluff and become this big, large. So for that reason, once you open the bag, you transfer them into another bottle. You can do whatever. You can seal. You can transfer some part of it because yeast can lose its potency over a period of time. time, especially if it gets exposed to light, as it is said. And you don't want to waste your yeast because why waste things when you can take care of it in a different ways and preserve it. So this was like 2 pound bag, and then that is Red Star yeast which I just used. Then I have this different brand, Safe Saf Instant. I don't know if I'm pronouncing Saf correctly, SAF Instant. And this is 1 pound bag. There was a good deal which was offered at the local store, and I bought I think couple of these yeast packets at that time, and I am preserving them in the freezer. But just to show you guys, I took it out, and this is the way these packets are. If you have extra, just throw them in the freezer and leave it there, while for your regular use you can take small portion out and put it on the at the bottom part of your refrigerator or side door, and you are good to go. So this is the yeast I use. And about the bread box, you can see some crumbs at the bottom, and that is all you have to clean. If there's liquid, it tend to stain the side, and then that is something you can clean with the barkeeper's friend white powder. You can use for scrubbing, and then thereafter you can use vinegar uh, uh, and soap mixed water, spray it, and get the bar soap barkeeper friend powder out of this uh, compartment, and you are good to go. And you can clean the whole machine before um, putting it back into the area you want to place it. And you can see the compartment where I put the dry fruits and oats. It looks okay. It doesn't need much attention. If you want, you can clean that also with the vinegar and soap spray. And the whole machine, I usually use the vinegar and soap spray and dry it immediately so that the stainless steel outside remains nice and clean and shiny. So this is once again at the end, this is how the bread looks like. You can see key is to make a tight dough, and just as I explained how to get the nice and semi soft but tight kind of a dough that is rolled together. Um, and that is the key for getting your recipe right every time you bake your bread. So I hope you liked my video on this topic, and do drop a comment or two. Thank you.